Hello, Will here, and it's been a long time. What the hell? Excuse me. Right, sorry about that. Very rude interruption there. But what I was going to say before I was very rudely interrupted is it's been a long time since I've been in Skyrim. My last Skyrim video was back in May 2019, so it's been a while. Now, the purpose of this video is, as you've seen from the title, this. Alright, come out the rock, Lydia. This is Cave of the Unknown Woman, but this is the Redux version. So this is Cave of the Unknown Woman Redux. So it's not like excessively different. That's me. It's not overly different compared to what the original is, because Cave of the Unknown Woman was my first ever dungeon mod, which I think I uploaded in like 2017 or something like that. But it was actually also on the PC when it was the original version of Skyrim, before they re-released it on PS4 and re-released it again on PC and all this and all that. So it's been around for a little while, and so then I re-released it after that, and now I've decided to re-release it again, but as a Redux, where it's had some like tweaks made to it. I've made a couple of tweaks to it to fix a couple of little things, but also I've added a couple of things to it as well, just so that there's something new to find and stuff like that. So I'm going to see if I can get the description up, if the game will allow me. Alright, so we now need to go and find out where it is on here, which is probably at the bottom. Alright, so Cave of the Unknown Woman Redux. This is the PS4 edition. This will be released on Xbox One and PC as well, but just for the time being, it's just on PS4, primarily for the purposes that I can get this walkthrough video done. Memory size is 1.85 megabytes, so it's not a big one. It's definitely not my biggest. My biggest has been this one, the Tyranny of Orbis. That's my biggest one. So this one is not. It's not that big. It's probably like the average size for the average dungeon mod of a reasonable length. So this is the description. This is a re-release of my first dungeon mod, Cave of the Unknown Woman. You must travel through the dark caves and ancient Dwarven ruins to discover the story of the unknown woman. Along the way, you will encounter dangerous monsters and deadly automatons. Discover what the ancient Dwarven were up to and what hidden treasures they were hiding away. So, that's the description of the premise of the mod. So, added to Redux. New Dwarven area to plunder. So there's a new area for you to go have a look around in, get some loot, blah blah blah. New Dwarven enemy face. You'll face them in the new Dwarven area. New Dwarven armor to be found. So there's a new enchanted Dwarven armor to be found. 2 new spells to be learnt. So there's 2 new spells that have been added, and new lore to be read. So there's a little bit of lore, new lore added in. The Redux edition also fixes some minor texture glitches and lighting issues. And yes, the tomb is still as dark as anything. Right, so if you played the original version, you would know that, for example, with that last sentence about the tomb basically being as dark as feck, it's still as dark as feck. Why is it as dark as feck? Because I want it to be as dark as feck. Because there's no lights in there. I've designed it so there is no light. There's no candles on the walls or anything like that. For emergency, because it's been underground for probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. The candles would have burnt out by now. So, Lighting issue was just to fix a couple of little bits and bobs in the thing, and texture glitches was there were some rooms where textures were colliding with one another, you would see it sort of glitching kind of bit. So I've tried to fix that where I can. So this is the first version, so there may still be one or two little issues that I do need to kink out. So if during this I do discover any new issues, obviously I will release a patch update to hopefully fix those small issues. And also, in previous, people have done a couple of videos on this before out on YouTube. I think one guy was called Anaconda Squeeze. I think he did a walkthrough on it. There's been a couple of YouTubers, but unfortunately their names escape me. But they did the video on not the updated version, but the original version. So there's been the original, then I updated it to change some of the looks on it, added a couple of new things to it, and now you have the Redux version. So this is basically the most up-to-date walkthrough you are going to get of this dungeon. So you might hear like a bit like wind blowing in the background. For some reason I seem to have this audio bug on my file. I don't know why it's there. I don't know how to get rid of it. I've just learnt to accept it and live with it. So do excuse the wind sound that you might hear in the background, because again, for something's bugged on my file and I can't get rid of it, no matter what I've tried to do. So let's begin. So obviously you come into this. Obviously here's your first room. Oh yeah, your followers don't follow you in here because I want you to face this spot on your own. That's it. Tough shit. So there's a tool. Oh, obviously you can't pick it up, but I didn't want you to pick it up anyway. So we're gonna get to the first part, which is it's this big ginormous drop. So tally ho, and bombs away. Whee! Now it is recommended that you do come into here with a way to light up the area. That's not it. Right, angel eyes. So yeah, I will recommend that you come in here with something that either gives you night eye, or you have a spell that allows you to see, that lights up the area for you. Because it does get a little bit dark in some places, I will grant you. So having something that helps you see in the dark will be helpful. Alright, so here we are in the first room. You can see some Dwarven stuff already. Big Dwarven ball. There's a couple of bears over there. We're going to tangle those bears later. So, the first thing you want to do when you come in here is, I just want to discover this. Right, so that guy has been fixed. And that was a mushroom that was very, very bright for some reason. Doesn't look as bright now. And neither does this one. So, that's alright. They seem to be fixed and they're all good. Right then. So, what you want to do when you first come in here, or one place to go and have a look is, when you come in, is just follow this wall here from the beginning. Come all the way around until you get to this tiny little hole here. So you want to jump in here and you want to jump in the wall. Now you're going to have to bear with me a second because it is still quite hard to see sometimes with this. But we are going to go down. We're going to go and try and find, there should be a treasure chest in the water somewhere. But it's not always the easiest one to find, and we'll grant it. There it is. Right. So I think you do kind of want to aim for like the centre of this water part, but quite near the bottom. I'll swim directly up from the chest after this. So inside this chest you'll have it's a Daedric sword. So you can take it if you want. If not, oh well, don't worry about taking it. But you also find a blood freeze. So it's an executioner's axe. Damage. It's probably rated quite high. It depends on how highly skilled you are in two-handed weapons. So, magic enchantment. Target is paralysed for 5 seconds. Target takes 75 points of frost damage to half its stamina. Does 60 points of stamina damage. So, you know, it's a pretty hefty weapon. You get a little bit of gold. And then you have spell tome Hellhorse. Or basically, it's just a shortcut way to be able to summon Arvak if you decide to not do the Dawnguard DLC. So I'm not going to worry about the sword though, so I don't need the danger sword. So now we're just going to swim up. Just try and get like a reference as where you need to roughly be in the water. But as you see, it is very deep. So as you can see, there's a hole over there. So it's probably close to the centre, a little bit more over to this side of the lagoon, as you want to call it. Now getting out this can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but all you gotta do is just get to the edge and just, when you can, just jump up, and eventually you will get out. It's a bit tricky to get out, but you can still get out, so that's why I haven't changed it, because I know you can actually get out. It's just a little bit tricky sometimes. Oh, and there's a random dwarven bust head. Random head. So we're going to carry on. We've got some bears. Now, these bears, sometimes they behave oddly. Sometimes they'll just go for you, sometimes they won't. So it's like, I don't know what to expect. But we shall see. Ooh, an angry bear. Do you want my giblets? No, you're just going to stare at me. Alright. Well, if you're not going to attack me, I want to attack you. Yeah, these are the abnormal cave bears. They're just like larger and slightly harder bears. They don't have any like amazing special to them, but you know, they're just there because I just wanted to put something big right at the beginning. So we're going to move on to the next area, which is Arca Sandin. So we are open to Arca Sandin. Oh, there will be quite a bit of reading in this at some points because of lore that I've put in. But first of all, you need to get through Arca Sandin. So this has slightly changed. I have slightly changed this area. So it's like this area here, for example, was where there was a lot of floor glitching, a lot of textures of the floor glitching. So I've just redesigned this area a little bit here, just a little bit. It has a little bit of redesign. I mean, there's still a little bit there, but it's not as noticeable. Trust me, it was noticeable, a lot more noticeable in the original. So when you come to here, you better have big pockets because there's a lot of loot. Also, I should also mention that you shouldn't judge the difficulty of this mod on my playthrough, because even though excuse me, because even though this is supposed to be a slightly harder dungeon mod, and I am playing it on a harder difficulty, but the weapons and the armor that I have is ridiculous. So don't judge the difficulty on my playthrough. Some people will find it hard, some people will find it quite easy. So we come to the far end. You know, you got some Ethereum crests, and you can just take them, bada bing, bada boom. And you got some Dwarven crossbows, enhanced Dwarven crossbows. And if you come over here, you got a bunch of Sparrow Breakers and Ethereal Crowns. I'm not going to take any of this because I do need to be aware of the weight of my carry weights. And then we come to here. A lot of these weapons seem to have disappeared, but you know, that's something that happens, and sometimes it's fine, and sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. It's just a glitch within the game. But as you can see, now that my night eyes run out, you can see there is a bit of light in here. Oh dear, there's a little bit of a glitch there. We'll ignore that one. Dun dun dun. But as you can see, you get some Dwarven Centurions, but again, for me, these guys are going to be very, very easy to take down. But as you can probably see, probably guess, you know, that this is basically like some big ass Dwarven workshop of some kind. Well, a lot of enemies to fight. Well, there's a fair few enemies. They got God knows how many workbenches, all these grindstones, all these forges. You got all these materials lined about the place. Got all the automatons, you got all this stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. So on this part here, you got like loads of armor, just loads of it. Here and over here, it's like loads of arrows and bolts for the crossbows. But yeah, as you can see, it's like some big ass workshop. So the question is, what was the workshop for? we're going to move on to the next part, which is like kind of like storage. Obviously, there's more enemies to kill. Then we've got a few more guys to take out. Take them all out, kill them all. Loads of dynamos if you want to take them. Again, I'm not going to take them all because sod that. I'll be here for forever and a bloody goddamn day. And obviously come over here, and then all of a sudden, loads of dummies. Like practice dummies and archery. So obviously they were preparing for something here. The only question is, what were they preparing for? And if you come here, it's like ginormous practice dummies. They're huge. I mean, why are they so big? What is it that what do you go against in the game that's that massive? Why? They're huge. Come around here, got a couple more guys to kill. Bosh, and a bosh, and a boosh. Unfortunately, the button doesn't do anything, but again, this place is supposed to be old. It's supposed to be sort of like basically effectively disused, so half the shit isn't going to work anymore, you know. And go up here, might as well kill this last dude. Come here, mate. Gotcha. And then he got some Centurions who are evidently actually quite big. So yeah, so at this point, you know, if you're curious about the story of the mod, you might be wondering, why is this place like this? Why is there a massive workshop? Why is there like a massive training area and all this and all that? Not what's it all for? So another change from the original is that you used to be able to go this way. There used to be a, like this over here. There used to be one going down this way, but it was going to a room that didn't really do much, so I've decided to take that room out. So now you just got this simple go down here. We come across some more Centurions. But again, these guys are easy. One hit, you know, bang, bang, dead, and all done. Better be in bed room. So next room we're going to go into is the Centurion Colossi workshop. Now the question is, what the hell is the Centurion Colossi? Well, you shall see. Now, there isn't anything really, I don't think I put anything up here. I'm gonna have a little look. It's been a while since I've been on this mod, so I'm not gonna. Some of the little details I'm probably gonna completely and utterly forget. I mean, again, it's like these ain't gonna work because it's supposed to be all run down, broken, not working, disused, you know. So why the hell would it all still be working? So lucky enough with this Arca Sandin part, you don't really need things to be able to have you see in the dark, because you can just see through most of it anyway. Kind of fun. So there you are. There's the Centurion Colossi. It's a big fella, big fella. But fortunately, he doesn't really have it. And then you come across another big fella. Now, it's not a Centurion Colossi, but it's a big fella. But this is a Gold Guardian. And as you can see, he does take a bit of a beating. There you go, and he's down. So, you know, as you can see, the Gold Guardian do take a bit of a beating. Now, I think at one point I did actually make these guys a lot harder, but I think after I updated it, I think I created a secondary one where things were designed to be a little bit easier, and then I updated it with the new stuff and kept the easy version in because these guys were ridiculously hard. So I'm going to take those Daedric arrows, going to take the soul gems, take the emerald, take the money. I'll take that one. I'm not going to bother taking the book, but both of these guys do have the same thing. So, well, all very closely the same stuff anyway. So I'm going to take all that. And now, we got big boy. He's a big boy. But this is the Centurion Colossi. Now, I have had to shrink him down a little bit because the hit detection when he was his original size was a bit off. So I have shrunk it. So he has been shrunk. He has been shrunk down a little bit. And plus, also, there was always the chance that he would actually glitch through the wall because of his size. So for those two purposes, he's been shrunk down a little bit. And yeah, I didn't find it too hard, but again, I can't really judge the difficulty of this mod on my playthrough because I'm playing this with a ridiculously strong character. So when you're going to loot him, you're going to get, first thing you're going to see is the Holy Trinity. So this is an enhanced Dwarven crossbow. It's obviously been enchanted. Damage on my one at least is 171, so it's quite a hefty thing. It packs quite a bit of a punch on base damage. But an enchantment is burns the target for 45 points. Targets on fire take extra damage. Targets takes 45 points of frost damage to half its stamina. Targets takes 45 points of shock damage and half as much to magic damage. You know, so technically this thing can pack quite a punch. For a little crossbow, it could pack quite a bit of a punch. And then you got 5 grand, take the soul gem, take the ruby, again some optional, and just in case if you can't be bothered to do all the Dragon Priest mask to get the final mask, he has that on him as well. So there you go. But that's the Centurion colossi. So the Centurion colossi is sort of like your first boss, shall we say. Yeah, so it's sort of like your first sub boss in this dungeon. And I'm gonna have a look up here as well, see if I put any chests up here or not. See if I did. Did I or did I not? Dun dun dun. No. I know I know working buttons. Of course not. Why would they be? Alright. So next place we've got to go to is Arca Sandin, to the living quarters. Ooh. And yes, there are definitely things living in here called Security Centurion. So again, another Centurion who could take a bit of a wallop. Not impossible to kill. He just takes a bit of a beating. And again, these guys have very similar stuff to like the Gold Centurion. Alright, just gonna take this guy out. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bosh, bada bing, bada boosh. Ah, he's down. Alright. So that is the Security Centurion. Gotta try saying that fast multiple times. Now, one thing I'm not gonna do, but you can do if you want to, is you can go to like all these chests. So you got chests. A few of them are empty, but some of them do actually have stuff in them. And you know, it's just normal leveled loot. Some are locked, some aren't locked. So it's like this one's not locked, and you know, got a diamond and a gold. A few other different bits and bobs, but I'm not gonna go around doing every single one. Excuse me 1 second. I just want to do something for a little bit of a laugh. Let's see what does it. There you go. That's one way to clear the table. Sorry, I just had to do that. It was just there. All right. Now, and obviously, yeah, over here you got your normal kitchen junk and all this and all that, and it's like, no, yeah, nothing special. Old cooking pit. Random pot on the floor, which I did not put there. It's supposed to be on a bench or a table. Actually, it might have been one of the ones that was on the table, actually. But what you want to come and actually find over here is this little sweet roll. The sweet roll of power. So we're going to take that. I don't really necessarily need to use it. So this is one thing. If you're finding this dungeon a little bit hard, this is something that you might want to grab, but for the end of the dungeon, or getting very, very near the end of the dungeon, sort of like for like the final boss, shall we say. You'll want to save it for that. But it's this what the sweet roll of power does. Restores 500 points of health. Health is increased by 5,000 points for 300 seconds. One-handed weapons do 200% more damage for 300 seconds. Two-handed weapons do 200% more damage for 300 seconds. Stamina increased by 5,000 points for 300 seconds. So basically, if you eat that sweet roll, you're going to kick some serious arse. Basically. They keep it quite simple. You're going to kick some serious arse. If you eat that sweet roll. But, so yeah, you'll definitely want to remember that sweet roll. Especially if you're finding this dungeon, like, a little tricky. You'll want to remember about the sweet roll of power. So we are now going to move on to the Arca Sandin Geothermal Engine. That's a fancy name, isn't it? Geothermal Engine. Oh boy. Now, you do have to be wary inside the geothermal engine. Because as you can see, there is a hell of a drop. So if you drop down there, you're probably most likely going to die. And if you fall down there and somehow survive, then you may as well restart because you ain't getting back up. So just be careful to not fall off the edge. So we're going to go through it. And yeah, there's not as many enemies in here, but I wanted to make sure that there wasn't like loads of enemies in here because of this part. Because by the fact that it's, if you're not careful, you can easily fall off the edge. So we've got some more Centurions here, but I'm going to be careful with fighting these guys. Just make sure I don't do anything stupid. Now this guy's looks will be the same as before. Just make sure that I don't do anything stupid. Fall off. Come on, fall off. I said fall off. Fine, screw you. Get down there. And death. So yeah, I'm just being a bit tentative around fighting them because I don't want to like accidentally do like a charging power attack and then run off the edge. Because I have done that before. So if you come up to here, yeah, up here you got one of these dudes. You know, he's dead, down, done. There's a few more dudes around the place. And you can see that there were some Dwarven here. They all seem to have burnt to a crisp. Kind of makes sense considering the room that you're in. And you can see there's a few chests. They're all pretty much locked. I pretty much locked all of them. Shaman's Key. Eh? Okay. Hold the phone. I think this key will only appear if you have the Cult of Nidhogg mod installed as well. Because that's the only one that I have that I'm aware of when there's a shaman in it. I'll take the shaman's key anyway. Okay, so I got one mod crossing over with another mod without the intention of it crossing over. But it'll only cross over if you have the Cult of Nidhogg mod installed. If you don't, then you won't. That key shouldn't appear. It's just appearing on mine because I have the Cult of Nidhogg mod installed. But yeah, up here it's just a chance to, you know, get like a little bit more loot, find a little, find a little bit of loot here and there. You know, just that nearer, tra la la. You know, nothing crazy special. It's just a chance to find a little bit more loot. So let's not run that way. I fancy staying alive. Thank you very much. So let's carry on. So we've got one more security Centurion to sort out. And then we can move on. This guy should go down pretty easy. And he's down. And dead. And right, that's it for the geothermal engine. So as of at the moment, not a lot has been explained. I will grant you, in the ways of lore. A lot of it's not been explained. A lot of it is to sort of like speculation and open to interpretation. But next we will be going to Mr. Scogan. Now I think the name, it came from Scandinavian, I think. But what it means, I can't remember. It was a while ago. But if you know Scandinavian, which I'm pretty sure that this is Scandinavian dialect, you should be able to translate that. So we are going to go into Mr. Scogan. Alright, and here we are in Mr. Scogan. So, you can see, it's an underground forest. So now hopefully that is rendered in, or going to render in, because I noticed that when I was making the changes, and that was fixed, so it should be fixed. If not, I'll have to have a look at it again maybe. Or it could just be a bug, potential bug, potentially. But yes, here we are with Mr. Scogan. And it's just a big, ginormous underground forest. Full of trolls and bears. No, I don't have to necessarily take these guys out. But just for the sake of taking their souls, I'm going to kill you. Right. I'm going to have your souls, thank you very much. Alright. So there's quite a few things to do in Mr. Scogan. So first thing you are going to want to do with Mr. Scogan is come around from the entrance. It's very bright in here, but as you can see there are some forms of artificial light. Hence why the trees can actually grow. But yeah, so what you're going to want to do first when you come to Mr. Scogan is you want to come to your left, and down into this area, where you can see this big tower. And on here you see a chest. Inside the chest is lift key. So you're going to want to remember that, because it's for this door here. Which then, if you go to this, will takes you back up to Blackreach. So you're going to want to remember this, because this is the only way out. Because obviously you can't come back, you can't get out the way you came in. So you're going to want to remember this, because otherwise you're going to be stuck in here. Now I think if you go around the area, I think you will find like the odd, the odd occasional treasure chest dotted around the place, and obviously more trolls. There are a few bears, so you can see there's like a treasure chest over there. Again, I'm not going to go around to like find every single treasure chest, because stop that. Otherwise I'll be here for a million years. So so this part here, we're gonna come back to this, because this does lead to something. So we're gonna come back to that a little bit later on. So the new area that was not in any of the originals, the new area is here. The convection laboratory. So we're going to go in there. We're not going to go in there right now. We're going to go in there a little bit later on. But that is the new area. Yeah, it's not very blatant, but there's a reason why it's not very blatant. First of all, we're going to find how we get up here again, because I can't remember. Probably not the right way, but screw it. I'm up. So we're going to take out the bear. Got no choice, got to take out the bear. Bear's down. And what you want to do is we are looking for this dude. X-dude. So he has a spell. This is not a new spell. It's not two new spells that's added. Both of the new spells are inside the convection laboratory. But we're going to take that. And we're also going to take this book here. The Theories of Arca Sandin. So, Severity of Arca Sandin book is your main book for lore in this one. So, if we go into here, we should have Shockwave. Now, I can't unfortunately really properly test it here. I mean, I'll see if I can find an enemy to test it on. Find something. So we're gonna go have a look around. I'm gonna show you the next area, which is to progress in the ways of the main story of this mod. You want to go to basically the opposite side of the tent, or the opposite side of the confection laboratory. Yeah, as you can see now, the thing has rendered in. For some reason, it just can't seem to render in from a distance. So, as you can see, these bears, you got some more treasure over here. You got some bears you got to worry about. So we're going to try and see if Shockwave works on these guys. There you go. Kill the bear. Get the bear. But you can just see how strong these bears are. Because I don't know how I can't remember how strong I made Shockwave. I don't think the actual Shockwave itself is. Hold on, I'll come back to you in a minute. We'll take out your friend first. Oh no, you're back. No, wait, what are you doing, Beth? What are you doing? Put this bear's on speed or something. he's like speed, or he's on crack cocaine or something. I don't know what he's on. But yeah, Shockwave itself, I don't think it's, except if I remember correctly, it's not like exceptionally strong, but it's primarily there just to allow you to damage an enemy a little bit, but also to push them away at the same time. So it allows you a chance to escape, basically. It's an scapegoat, basically. Alright, so we are still trying to find this area. As you can see, Mr. Scogan is a very big place. Alright, I think I now found what I'm looking for. About bloody time. So yeah, the place that you're looking for is basically, it's between these like two cliff sides here, where you can see these old Nordic towers and this door that leads into the unknown tomb. But again, we are not going to go in there just now. So oddly enough, there's a lot of backtracking, so I will see you there, but we are going to go back to the beginning because I want to point something out to you. So I will see you at the entrance, or near the entrance. Alright, made it back to the entrance. So, the reason I was coming back over here, when you come down on the ramp and down into the ground of the forest, if you go to your right, you will see this odd looking thing here. And it's a bit odd looking, but obviously if you look carefully, you will see that there is actually what is actually supposed to be a doorway, but you can't open it. And it's like, you can tell it's a secret doorway, but you can't open it. It's like, it don't open. That's because in here there is it's not really a puzzle per se, because you don't find clues to find the puzzle pieces, all that. But within Mr. Scogan there are 5 different kind of like switches, levers, pull levers and stuff like that. There's all these different like pull chains and switches and levers. So just as an example, at this very first area here, if you come around to the edge, come around here, you will see that there's this little tiny thing here, little tiny handle. Just pull that, and now unfortunately it doesn't open the first one, but there are 5 switches and 5 levers to find, and to get to what is inside. So we are now going to go through the guide to the Mr. Scogan switch puzzle / pain in the ass bit. So as you see, as you just seen, one of them is tucked away in the corner here, basically by where you actually find the secret doors. It's in the far corner, just over there. So basically, you come off the ramp, go to your right, go to where that tree is over there, go into the far corner, basically, and then basically where the trolls are, go to the far corner over there, and boosh, there is one there. So the next one you want to go and find. Now you're gonna have to bear with me. It might take me a little while to remember exactly where all of these are, because it's been a while. But remember that little kind of weird structure-y thing I pointed out earlier when we were near the tent? Well, you want to come here, where it begins. Now, unless you have a mod that allows you to like jump further or anything like that, you're gonna want Whirlwind Sprint. If you don't have Whirlwind Sprint and you don't have a mod that allows you to jump further, then you're gonna have a bit of a harder time with this one. Because that kind of jump there, I don't think I'm going to make that if I jump normally, so I am going to Whirlwind Sprint across it. And next, we're going to get to what is a bit of a tricky bit. Actually, this bit's a bit tricky. Not impossible, just a little bit. It just can be just a little bit tricky. And because sometimes you get a bit buggy with your character, but you still get it. Right, I'm gonna jump over here. No. Alright, here we are again. Let's try this again, shall we? Yep. There we go. Made it that time. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna aim over here. Your best bet is to try and actually aim for where the bit actually goes up, because you are probably going to need a Whirlwind Sprint for this bit. And again, probably your best bet is the Whirlwind Sprint here as well. You might be able to jump down, I don't know, but I don't want to chance it. So I'm just going to wait patiently. Bloody god damn it. Alright. This time we're going to try and just jump normally. Ooh, that was bloody close. Right, we made it across. I think this part is a bit easier. The things are a bit bigger, so they're a bit easier to do. Alright, then we get to this bit. Now this bit, I think you might, again, this bit you might be able to jump it. But I'm going to Whirlwind Sprint it. And I'm going to go up to this last couple here. Get to this last one over here. Yep, right. So when you eventually get to the top, you will see that there's a little pull handle here. A little pull chain. For that one. So that is 2 out of 5. I'm going to drop down. Break my kneecaps. Like enough I don't need them. So we're going to carry on sticking around to the edge. That is one tip I will give. If you don't quite remember where they are from watching this, I mean, obviously you can go back, you know, obviously, yeah, you can go back for the video, you know, you can see where they are for there. But if you don't do that, a good idea thing to do is to sort of like stick to the edge of the area, and you'll find where the switches are, or the areas that will lead you to where they are. So if you come to here where we had that cocaine bear not too long ago, you will see this chest here. I'm not going to open it because it's locked and it's masked and I can't be asked, but you can see on the mountain there's this little lever. You want to flip that. So that is 3 of 4. So we're going to go back to the whole theory of just sticking to the edge. You're going to want to stick to the edge, keep sticking to the edge. Let's go around. Might bump into maybe a troll or a bear here or there. And you're going to want to go to where the unknown tomb is. Now, if I can remember correctly, you want to go on the cliffside that is on that will be on basically your left hand side if you're looking at the tomb. Don't worry about them, they will come into play later on. And if you come to the top of this cliffside, no ball chain, you want to pull that one. So again, it is to the left hand side of the tomb entrance. So that is 4 of 5. Now we come to what is where I was a bastard about this, and the hardest one to find. This one can be ridiculously hard to find and stupidly hard to find, and it'd probably be by pure luck if you find it without watching a guide of some kind, or someone else find it, or someone telling you where it is, because it is a ridiculously hard one to find. Now, even I'm struggling to quite remember where it is, but I do believe if you find this face by this creek, you want to find this face on the ground. Now, around this area, you want to check the trees. Here we are. So, easiest way for this one, find the face. Now, the face is very closely looking at the tree that you actually want to go to, actually. So you want to basically face, sort of like face south, go past this first tree, and then you want to go to the tree that is here. And at the base of the tree, you will find this tiny little lever. You want to pull that, and that is the last one. So this one can be a tricky one. I think I did eventually make the lever a bit bigger. I think originally it was actually a little bit smaller, so it was even harder to find. So that's it for the puzzle. So obviously, if you couldn't quite follow that in one go, obviously you could just go back in the video and just go through it, repeat it a little bit in certain points, just to basically figure out where they are. So just to explain once again before I go into here, one switch is actually by the secret room, but tucked away in the corner on its right hand side. Another switch is on the whole jumping puzzle, which you'll notice which is very near where the tent is. The third switch is over by the mountainsides over there, on a mountainside. The fourth switch is on the cliffside to the left hand side of the tomb, and the final switch is on the tree which is near the face by the creek. But again, you will be able to go back through the video to see where they actually are if you are struggling with this switch puzzle. But now that we've found all the switch puzzles, as you can see, all the doors are open. So, ooh, what's inside the chest? What treasure do you get? Get a key. Whoopee doo! But no. So this is the key to Streambox. So you do all of that just to get a key. It's a bit of a cop out, really, isn't it? But no. So what you want to do now is you want to go back, heading towards the tomb, and obviously the stream is talking about is. What you want to do is you basically want to go to the eastern end, where you find this bear. Hello, bear. How are you, bear? Goodbye, bear. Don't block the chest. So we're going to unlock that now. So in here you will find a spell tome for Hellbat. So we're going to learn that. Hopefully it works, because I've done this spell slightly differently, so hopefully it works. But the main thing you want to get, really, I would say, is this. The Force Shield. So it's a light armor rating is 52, so it's not like immensely strong, but again, I suppose it depends on what your light armor skill is. So block 40% more damage with your shield, increase magic resistance by 40%. Now this does have a third enchantment that isn't actually stated in the description, which is, if enemies get near you, they will be pushed away. In the same way as like if you can push someone away with force push, you know, they will fly away from you. But obviously the only problem with that is that if you get the shield, you have to be careful where you're wearing it. But also, I recommend, if you do take it and you do decide to keep it, when you come to store it anywhere, store it in a chest. Don't store it on a mannequin, or don't store it on like a shield rack, because the force push effect at that point is actually still active. So if you put it on a mannequin, you may find it very, very difficult actually getting the shield back, because you yourself will be pushed over. So if you're going to store this, store it in a chest or some other kind of container, but do not put it, and I repeat, do not put it on a mannequin or a shield rack. It doesn't matter if you're carrying it, because the magic effect doesn't work if you're carrying it. And you usually just go over a note. I found this chest, but I can't get it open. It looks like it needs some kind of key, but where's the key? I have seen some chains and switches around this impossible forest, but I can't find what they open, if they open anything at all. So if you've managed to find this guy before you actually find any switches, this gives you an idea, basically, some things to look out for. That's basically the purpose of that. Now, unfortunately, Ronza is a bit overweight, so I'm going to try and sort out some weight issues. So I will be back in a second.